Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're having a fantastic day so far. I hope that wherever you are in the world, today has been treating you well. In today's video, I am going to be diving into the Robert Welsh and Blend Bunny Divination palette. I have a few videos up on my channel already with this palette. I've got like a first impression, swatching, deep dive into the palette. Then I think I've got 2 eyeshadow palette bingos up already, but today I am going to be going row by row and creating 6 different eye looks using each row individually as if they were a little little 5-pan palette all by itself, so creating 6 completely different looks. This is look number 1 with the yellow row. I have just finished filming this one, and then this is look number 2 with the green rows, then number 3 with all of the beautiful blues, then look number 4 with all of the purples and pinks. Then we have got look number 5 with the taupey, warmer toned browns, and then finally look number 6 with the cool toned grey smoky shades. So if you want to see how I created all of those looks, starting with look number 1, just keep on watching. So look number 1 with the Divination palette. I'm just going to be starting from the top and working my way down. So today I'm going to be doing something yellow and like warm brown based. I will say in every look that I do in this palette, I'm not necessarily going to be using every shade. I just want to see, like, if this was a 5-pan palette by itself and just taking these colours alone, what sort of look can I do? And I feel like that will be quite interesting to see for each of the different rows. So we're going to be creating 6 going to be creating 6 different looks in this video. So let's just start. I'm going to start with this brown shade and run that through my crease. I have already got my eyeshadow primer on. I have used the P. Louise one today, so just taking a bit of Skeptic on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to start wiggling this on the outer half, third-ish. I have no idea what I'm doing. In case it's not apparent, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And also, this on my hand is not a flesh-eating bacteria like it looks. This is eczema. This is my life. It's just what I'm living with at the minute. So that is that first colour laid down sort of quite roughly, because I'm going to go in with Aura, which is the middle shade. Going with that one just on the same brush because I'm not messing up 2 brushes and I don't absolutely need to. And I'm going to put that on the inner half of the crease and like mush it in with that brown on the outer corner. So I am also sort of, when I've not got very much on my brush, just tickling that Aura shade over the top edge of that brown. Again, just to soften it out a little bit. And also I just love this mustard shade. I have worn this quite a bit, just sort of packed across the lid, then with a big black wing. That is how I really enjoy wearing quite a lot of colour that way. I wanted to do something a little bit different today. Really, I can't do, or I feel in my heart I can't do, a whole look where I just put one colour all over the lid. That's not a look. It's one colour. I mean, it's effective, I love it, but is that entertaining in any sort of way? I am not sure, but I'm just making sure that that Aura shade is really packed on in the inner part of the crease there. I love that colour. I am just going to take a slightly smaller brush. None of my brushes are clean. You are not judging me. You are not. I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush and go into a bit more of that Skeptic and just keep that right on the lid to deepen it up a little bit. So I am happy with how those are looking, those two colours. I'm trying to decide if I want to use the darker shimmer, which is like a brown, or if I want to use the lighter shimmer that is, these are more like toppers at this side, and then these are more like fully pigmented shimmers. I think I want to use the lighter one, you know, so I'm just going to take more of a flat brush, which is fairly clean. It's clean enough. And I'm going to dip into the lightest matte, which is called In the Stars, and I'm going to look at that colour. Very, very pigmented, but also very, very dusty. But I did get a lot on the brush then. I'm doing my eyes first, so it doesn't matter about the fallout, but just packing that all over the inner part of the lid. A lot of fallout, but that's fine. That's why I do my eyes first. So I'm happy with how that bright, it's almost like a pastel, is pastel neon a thing? I feel like that is. It's very bright, but it's white at its base, if that makes any sort of sense. It's beautiful. I don't think I've used that one yet. I really, really like it. So I'm just making sure that the darkest matte is as dark as I want it on the outer corner, which I think I'm happy with. And then I'm just going to take my finger into Scry, S-C-R-Y. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and tap that over that lightest shade all over the inner half-ish of the eye, and like right up through the crease as well, because these shimmers are beautiful. And because it's more of that like topper formula, it will just sort of scatter over where that more mustardy shade is. So I feel like I need another brush. Just taking another fluffy brush into that topper shade, Scry, just to pick up a little bit more and sort of disperse it over the whole lid. This shade almost has like a lime green quality to it. It's very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. I will probably pack some more of that right onto the inner corner, but I'm gonna leave the lid just at that. I'm gonna just blend that a little bit better. Trust me to not blend things basically at all. But I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna clean this up, am I gonna add, I might add like a brown wing. See how we feel. I'm gonna spruce, and then we can finish up under the eyes together for look number 1. Okay, so that is the rest of the face done. Honestly, I'm gonna try and get as many of these looks filmed today as possible, so a lot of the things are gonna be the same. Like a lot of the base is going to be the same in each of these videos, but let's finish up under the eyes. I'm just gonna take that same brush that I used for the dark brown and just pick up a little bit more of that and run that all the way along the under eye, like quite close to the lash line. I do enjoy a nice smoky under eye, and I'm also just going to tap that over the outer corner where I like cleaned that up and added the wing. Then I will take a little bit of the Aura shade on the fluffy brush and just tickle over that very bottom edge to soften it down a little bit. I do think I want to add some more of that shimmer right onto the inner corner to really brighten it up, like really pack that colour on. So I'll just use that same brush that I used before for the shimmer, and let's add quite a bit right onto that inner corner. I feel like once you put that colour, or like quite a few of these lighter shimmer shades that I have used just in my everyday life, I feel like when you put them on the inner corner and almost like blend them up through the first half of the crease, I sort of do this sort of motion, it almost gives it a larger surface area so you can see the shift in the colours, and I feel like that is showing up a little bit more green right on the inner corner, but I love that. So I'm going to just do a little bit of mascara on the lower lashes. I was using the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. Just a little wiggle of this to finish off the lower lashes, and then look number one is done. There we go. I love these like mustardy yellow colours at the best of times, but I love how that has turned out. Let me just sort my hair out. So that is look number one with the first row. I love these mustardy tones. Honestly, I think of this sort of mustardy yellow warm golden tone, I think of just like a neutral. I feel like it really brings out the colour of my eyes. I also feel like if you had brown eyes, this would really bring out the colour of your eyes, but look number one, done and dusted. I really like how that's turned out. So on to row number two. Okay, so for look number two, we are going to be going green. And I think for the green look, I want to do something, I want to use Money right on the inner corner as like a little pop. Maybe with the shimmer on that inner corner. I don't think I'm going to use 13, which is the dark green, because I've already used that and I already love it. I want to try and use some of the different colours that I haven't used before. So I'm going to start with a fluffy brush and I'm going to dip into Tea Leaf, which is this almost army khaki green right in the middle of the green row, and I'm going to bounce over the creases in that eye primer, and let's wiggle this through the crease. This really is a beautiful like soft mid green. I really love like the undertone of it because it's quite warm. Pretty. I love green. I love green at the best of times, but I really love that tea leaf shade. It's very, very pretty. So that is just that one shade, and I've like built it up a little bit more on the outer corner, but nothing too fancy, you know, it's just that one shade through the crease. I'm going to just take my finger and I'm going to go into Lucky, which is the dark, look at that colour. Ooh, 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 dark shimmer, and I'm going to pack that on the outer half of the lid and tap it up into that tea leaf shade. And again, I'm doing my eyes first, so I'm just being quite messy with it. So I've packed that on and I'm just going to wiggle over it just with that same blending brush. So I'm going to use this as the darkest shade for the outer corner. Even though it's shimmery, I feel like packing that on the lid is working quite successfully. Yes, I'm happy with that shade from the outer corner, and then I'm just going to use the lighter shimmer, which again is beautiful, and that one's called Vision. I'm going to use that on the inner half, just on the lid, because like I say, I think I want to put that money shade, so a matte inner corner, like highlight at the end, you know. I think that's what I want to do. So just packing that shimmer all across the lid, and then just taking that same brush, but honestly they're just looking blended even without me blending it. Don't mind all of that under my eye, I am going to clean that up. But that is looking very, very pretty. Let me go ahead and just wipe under the eye so that I can get some sort of idea how that's going to look in a minute. So I'm just sharpening up the outer corner and also taking all of that colour off from under my eyes, and I think I'm happy, honestly, with just those shimmers across the lid. I think that that looks really nice. I might actually use a sort of liner brush and create a little bit of like a smoky wing with that 13 shade, because I do love a smoky wing and I love a green smoky wing. So just taking a liner brush and dipping into 13 and just creating a little bit of a smoky, smudgy wing sort of thing. It's just makeup. It's just makeup at the end of the day. If this doesn't go right, who's to say that's not exactly what I wanted anyway? You know? Okay, so smudgy and smoky it is. I'm just neatening that back up because I went a bit crazy. Of course I did. Went a little bit crazy with that darkest shade. And again, she goes in and adds more. Such is my life. So I am going to go ahead and do the rest of my face. I'm happy with how that's looking just for the lid. I'm happy with those shades just all across the lid, but I'm gonna go and do the rest of my face. I'm gonna change my battery because it's flashing at me, so you will jump into the next little clip, and then I think I want to put that bright matte on the inner corner, so let me go do the rest and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the rest of the face do be done, and I'm just going to, I think I'm just gonna run that green. They're all green, Millie. It's the green row in the eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to run Tea Leaf, the first green, just going to run that under the eyes. Again, quite blown out because that's how I like it. That's how I like the under eye to be. Smoky. And then decide what sort of brush I want for the inner corner. So that is Tea Leaf all the way along under the eyes, and then how do I want to do this? I'm tempted to use quite a big brush and get that colour like all over. So I'm going into Money, which is the matte light like lime green, bright green, and I'm gonna take almost like a pencil brush, but like quite a big sort of brush, and I'm gonna tap it off because I got a lot of pigment on there, and I'm gonna pack that right onto the inner corner. I feel like the contrast between like the neon in that colour with the like dark smokiness of the like smoky wing and under eye, I feel like that is working. I like that. And actually I was considering putting the lightest shimmer that basically ended up all over the lid. I was going to put that on the inner corner, but there is just something about a matte bright neon inner corner like this that just does something to me. I really, really like how that's looking. Who is mad? Who is mad? at a bright neon green inner corner, because it certainly isn't me. So I'm gonna put a bit more mascara on, and mascara on the lower lashes, and then we are done for look number 2. Okay, so that is quite a bit of mascara, quite a bit on the upper lashes, but I feel like, you know, a neon green inner corner requires just a little bit of mascara, you know? So this is look number 2. It's green, so of course I love it. It's green, and I've got like an orangey blush on. So who is mad? I love it. I love it. And I also love that I didn't even use a liquid liner. Like, that is so rare. That is incredibly, incredibly rare. But look number 2 for the greens. We are done. On to what's next. Is it blue? On to the blues for look number 3. Okay, so look number 3 with the Divination palette, and today we are going blue. We're on to the blue row. I think I want to try and do like a halo eye, basically because all I have done this far is something a little bit sort of smoky and rounded, lighter on the inner corner, darker on the outer corner. Simple. I feel like I need to change it up just a little bit. So I am going to take, I have just done my brushes down with a little bit of Isoclean because they were looking all sorts of different colours. So just taking a sort of long tapered but still quite thin brush, and I'm going to start with, let's start with Horoscope, and I'm just going to put that right onto the outer and the inner corner. And I'm using the Beauty Bay eye base today. That's all I have on the eyelids. So just tapping the creases out in that, because obviously I did it like half an hour ago. And I'm just going to take that darkest shade. Ooh, I do love this colour. I do love this like tealy blue. Beautiful deep colour. So packing that right on the outer and inner corner. Not being too neat about it, I just really want that colour packed on quite intensely. And then I'll use that mid shade to like blend it out a little bit. Obviously, feel it goes without saying, but I'm using that dark shimmer on this row, Oracle. I think it's my favourite shade in this whole palette. So very, very excited about this row. Very excited indeed. So once I'm happy with the intensity and somewhat similar shape-ish, but like not really worrying about that basically at all, I have 2 of that same brush. So I'm going in with another one that's exactly the same into the mid shade, which is called Pisces, which again is a beautiful tealy blue shade. So, so pretty. And I'm going to lay that over the edges, and I am sort of creating a bit of a winged shape still on the outer corner, because I just prefer that even for a sort of halo shape that will inevitably look quite round on the eye. I do still like having that sort of shape. I'm probably still going to add a wing even though it's going to be a bit of a different shape. It's just how I like it, but I'm happy with how that looks. And then I'm going to take a bigger fluffy brush. Which one do I want to take? See, I've just got so many options now that I've... can you say that I've cleaned them? I've rubbed them down with a bit of Isoclean. Can you say that that's clean? I'm just going to take a fluffy brush into Hydromancy, which is the light baby blue. Properly pastel icy blue, and I'm gonna blend the top edge with this one, and then I'm just going back in with a bit more of the middle shade, which is Pisces, just to like blend it into that baby blue. So you can see like down the center of the lid, that is still just eye primer, like completely unset, still tacky eye primer, but everything else is like really nicely blended. I really like that baby blue shade. Have I used that one yet? I can't remember. But that's really pretty. Very, very pastel pigmented. Very pretty. Beautiful formula. Beautiful. So once I'm happy with the blend, which I think I am, I'm just going to take Oracle on my finger, and if I hold this up, look at that colour. It's so foiled and smooth, and I feel like it's not even showing up on camera the way that is like duochrome. Can you see? I really hope it's showing up all of those duochrome colours. Like, it's probably multichrome, honestly. It's like turquoise and mint and purple. It's so pretty. Like I say, I think it's my favourite shade in this whole palette, so I'm going to just sort of swipe down the centre of the eye to get that colour right on where that primer is still tacky and bare. Oh, that colour is so pretty. Oh, I love these colours. I love them, I love them, I love them. So I've just tapped that colour on the first tap, that Oracle shade. And I'm just going to use that same brush that I was using for Pisces, the middle shade, but I'm not putting any more colour on it. I'm just tapping over the edges just to make that blend in a little bit more. And I'll also do the same with that fluffy brush, because I did tap that colour sort of up here. I do want there to be a little bit of that colour like above the crease, so you can still see it like when the eye is open, but also I don't want it to look too like dark up near my brow, you know. I do want a little bit of that reflect there, but not too much. And then once I've blended it, I'm just going to go in with more and really build up the sort of foiliness of this shade right on the centre. Just keep tapping over it. Then one last little tap over the very outer and very inner corner with the darkest shade, which was Horoscope. And I think I'm pretty much there for the lid. For the lid. Do I just leave this as the lid? Like, sharpen it up, obviously clean all of this up and this on the inner corner. Sharpen it up, add a wing, maybe a blue wing. That Made by Mitchell glittery blue wing. That would go incredible with these colours. And then not do anything like smoky under the eye. What a thought. Either way, I'm going to go off and do all of that, and then we can decide if we want something under the eye together once the rest of the face is done. I feel like that was very quick, but also I love it. I've got to be snappy. When I'm doing 6 looks in one video, I've got to be snappy. So I'll be right back when I have cleaned up everything and we can finish off together. Okay, so I decided to go for a matte blue wing, which I think works very, very well. I'm just adding a little bit more of that baby blue over the top edge, because quite often when I do my eyes first, and I'm certain I've already said this in this video, but whenever I do my eyes first, then when I put my concealer on, I like take it up through here, and then I have to like reapply like all of the colours that I put in there. So that is what I'm doing currently. Honestly, I am just so used to seeing my face with eyeshadow under my eyes that I feel like I look like an alien because I don't have anything under my eyes, even like mascara or anything. Isn't it so strange what we get used to? But I think I'm gonna have to put just a little something under the eyes. Let's go in with Pisces, that mid shade, and I'm just gonna do a little wiggle of something along the lower lash line. I'm trying to do something different on the lid. I can only be so different, so adding a little bit of that under the eyes just to make me feel a little bit more comfortable. And then I'm just going to take a really tiny little pencil brush, and I'm going to dip into the light shimmer, which is called Love Line, and I'm going to tap off the excess and pack that right onto the very, very inner corner, but I don't want to blend that out too far. I do just want that to be right on the inner corner. So obviously I've got that dark matte eyeshadow across the inner part of the lid, and I don't want this to take over from that, so just packing that right into there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's just put a little bit of mascara on the lower lashes, and then I think I'm done. I'm very glad that I decided to film some other videos after applying this makeup, so you will see this makeup look again soon. Soon. I'm planning on doing a Christmas gift guide after this, but I still need to go and find all of the, find pictures of everything that I want to talk about and make sure that they are actually still in stock and all of that good stuff. So I'll be filming that later today with all of this makeup on. I feel like this is Christmas gift guide appropriate, like it's wintry, you know? So that is the blue look from Divination. I love blue. I love blue. I don't love cool tones, but if I'm doing a blue, I'm happy. I think that that looks suitably wintry. And honestly, that duochrome shade has my whole heart. I just love it. So like I say, that is me done for look number 3, the blue. I honestly don't believe we're going to be able to top this. This is definitely my favourite one so far. I just love it. So up next, purple. Let's see how we go with that one. I've already got an idea in mind. Let's see how we go with that one. Okay, so it's time for purple, and I am quite excited about this one because again, the shimmers are beautiful. I will say I've got a little bit of staining across my eye, not from the eyeshadow, this was the eyeliner I was wearing in the blue. This is the Relove Dip eyeliner and I love it, but I forgot that it stains, so I've got just little blue wings already on my eyes. And also, just starting off this little segment with a few housekeeping things, I opened the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer and I took the stopper out of it because I'm very, very nearly done, and it has literally gone. Can you even see that? It's all over the eyeshadow palette, it's all over my brushes. I actually think it flung and hit the wall when I took the stopper out. So there's concealer everywhere, my eyelids are blue, and let's do some purple eyeshadow today. I just need to get my makeup on. So I'm going to start with a fluffy brush, and I wanted to do something a little bit softer today, but with those shimmers. So I'm going to start with Gemini, the shade in the middle, with a fluffy brush. I'm probably not going to use the darkest purple because, like I say, I want something softer, more ethereal, all of those sort of words. So I've got creases in my eye primer. Let's tap that out before I start. This is the Beauty Bay one today. I can't remember. I will try and remember to use the P. Louise one in tomorrow's or the next clip because I can't remember if I've tried this formula with the different eyeshadow primers. Not that that matters too much because I like both of them, but I feel like it would be quite interesting just to know how it's gonna work with both. And I think I want to do something more like fully rounded, like right round the outside of my eye. So I'm not gonna, oh, the cat's with me as well. I'm not gonna sharpen this up too much today, I don't think. Are you well? So I have just packed that mid purple quite a bit on the outer corner, because like I say, I think that's the darkest shade that I want to use today. So really packed that on the outer corner and then blended it like through the crease. Then I'm going to take another fluffy brush, which again is covered in concealer. Let me wipe that on my pyjama bottoms. And I'm going to go into Affirmation, which is the light pink. I love this shade. And I'm going to put that on the inner half of the crease. I think I'm going to like properly pack this on the inner corner, obviously when we get to that stage. But I love that pink. It's like properly pastel, really nice and bright, but not too, like, it's bright because it's like a white based pastel shade, but it's not too out there. It's not too neon. I really hope that makes sense. Like, it's a beautiful pastel shade that I feel like a lot of people would wear quite comfortably. And I don't even mean people such as myself that love very colourful makeup. So I am also just going to dust that light pink across the lid a little bit. Not too much, but I just want that primer nicely set. I don't want this to be too tacky, because what I want to do is take a very big fluffy brush, such as this one, and I want to take this and pick up quite a bit of this number 7, the shimmer that is more of like the topper sort of a finish. I don't think I want the darker one, or do I? Let's change my mind as I go along. I'm going to take a bit of that darker shimmer, which is called Psychic, and I'm going to pack that on the outer corner. Yeah, that was the right decision. I love that colour. I am just making this up as I go along, so just packing that shade on just with my finger quite roughly. I'll blend in a minute, but I'm taking this fluffy brush and I'm just going to dip into number 7, which is more of like a topper, and I'm just going to scatter this quite lightly all across the lid and like up through the crease as well. Pretty. Yes, I really like how that looks. So that number 7 shade, if I just get real close, I feel like that is sheer still, so it is just like going over the top of those other shades beautifully. And I'm just going to make sure that that's really nice and blended on the top edge. For some reason in my camera, and I don't know if this will look the same when I get this footage onto my laptop to edit it, but for some reason this eye is looking much darker on the outer corner. I don't know why. It is like nighttime, and that's at this side, and I have studio lights at this side, so maybe that's something to do with it. If only I knew what I was doing. So I'm gonna go off and finish off the rest of my face, and then like I say, I want to do something quite like rounded on the outer corner, and I might actually do like liner and mascara afterwards, but I do want to just do the rest of my face very quickly. So I will go off and I will go off and do that. Then we can finish off together. Alright, so that's the rest of the face done, and I do think I just want something a little bit darker on the outer corner. Who saw that going? Literally everybody. So just going to take a little bit more of Gemini, and like I say, I want this quite rounded, so I am going to put this under the eye as well, and then I'll see how I feel. Do I want more? I did bring over the Made by Mitchell like glittery liquid liner. I might go in with some of that, but I'm just going to try and smoke this out a little bit on the outer corner, I'm just going to take a much smaller, more precise brush and take the tiniest bit of 8 Ball, which is that darkest purple, and just deepen up right on the outer corner. And blend that in, just sort of wiggle that in a little bit with that mid purple. Yeah, that was the right decision. I try and do something a little bit different, a little bit lighter, and then I end up going in with the darkest shade anyway. Never mind. There's a time and a place for like light and airy and minimal. I just don't think I've found it yet. I love bright, colourful makeup. So I'm very happy with how that looks. Right, let me find the brush. This one that I did the light pink with. Get rid of the cat hair off it, honestly. Cat hairs? I have been a cat owner and a dog owner. I had well, not owner because I was a kid, but like, please do enlighten me. Cat hairs get absolutely everywhere, like on everything. But I don't remember dog hairs ever doing that. I mean, granted, I was a child, but I just don't remember dog hairs ever being as bad as cat hairs. Like, yes, on the floors, on the carpets and stuff, but I find cat hairs on all of my makeup brushes, even when the cats haven't been in here for days and like I've cleaned my makeup brushes, you know? It's like, yeah, I get it, this is their house, like this is their house, but how do they get absolutely everywhere? I'm just packing that light pink right onto the inner corner so it is properly right round the eye, all of that colour. I love this row. Is this my favourite row? This could be my favourite row. So then I'm just going to take, I want this brush, that'll do. And I'm just going to take some more of that number 7, that light shimmer, and put that on the inner corner as well. Yeah. I love those colours. I love it. So I think we're done with that now. I'm going to do, nearly sent my glass bottle of foundation flying then. I'm going to do a glittery purple wing with the Made by Mitchell Make a Mark in Crazy Purple Lady. I'm going to shake it up because it's been sat on my table for a while. I'm going to do a big wing where I feel like this is really nice and like rounded and the colour's not too blown out. I feel like if I do a really sharp wing that like cuts through that, I think that that might look quite nice. So let's paint this on. A little something like that. Oh, I just love purple. I just love purple. I feel it in my bones. Right, so then I'm just going to put mascara on. This is the Essence Call Me Queen mascara because I want something quite dramatic and big. Not that I am going anywhere at all. It's actually Saturday night as I'm filming this little clip, and we always get a takeaway on a Saturday night, so I'm going to be answering the door like this, and the guy's going to be like, because normally I'm in my pyjamas and like hair scraped back, no makeup, hair mask, face mask, the fluffy socks, you know, the whole thing. That's normally the Millie that they get. They're gonna get a very, very different vibe today. There we go. Lots of mascara later. And we are done. We are done with purple. Now, I know I just said that I think that the blue one was my favourite, but I think that this one might be my favourite. I love purple. I love blue, I love green. I think that this one might be my favourite. Let's wait and see at the end. I'm going to try and like remember what all of the looks were. So obviously I haven't taken any pictures, obviously, because who would do that? An organised person? That could never be me. But this is look number 4. Am I going delirious? Yes. But for look number 5, the one that I'm doing tomorrow, obviously I'm into the brown row, which I feel like I've timed quite well because I am going to a 2-year-old's birthday tomorrow, and I don't need I don't need all of this. I need something nice and neutral. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Well, tomorrow for me, 30 seconds for you, but I'm very happy with how purple turned out. I will see you in a couple of seconds for the brown row. I'm excited about that one as well, I can't lie. Okay, so day number 5, we're on the home stretch. We are going for the browns today. I don't think I want anything too dark, honestly, because like I was saying in the end of yesterday's clip, just going to a 2-year-old's birthday party, I don't need anything crazy. So I think I'm probably going to use the lighter shimmer, and let's just see how we go. Like always, I'm just making this up as I go along. I did use the P. Louise eye base today, so we'll see how it goes with that. I'm going to start with a fluffy brush into the middle shade, which is called Ouija. Do you say Ouija? Even though it's got an A at the end. I don't know. But I'm going to start with that one and run that through the crease after I have tapped out the creases of my eyeshadow primer. Always. I have the creasiest eyelids, I swear. So I'm just going to start building this up a little bit through the crease. More so just on the outer half with this shade because that's the darker, well it's the middle one, but I think this is potentially the darkest one that I will use today. I will use the lighter matte as well. So I've built that up a little bit more on the outer corner and sort of just run that all the way through the crease because actually I like the colour that that's going. It's almost got a bit of like a mauvey sort of undertone where that's like blended out and sheared out a little bit further in. I really like that colour just as like this sort of thing, just all over the crease, blended right out. Beautiful, beautiful colour. Just going to make sure that that's really nice and deep on the outer corner though, and then blended in a little bit. Then I'm just going to take another fluffy brush and dip into Fortune Cookie, which is the lighter matte, and I'm just going to run that a little bit further in on the crease because I really like the sort of pink undertone of that one. This row is really pretty. It's very, I mean obviously it's just like brown shades, but the undertones of the shades are very, very pretty. Very wearable, just sort of neutrally shades. But, and I can't believe I haven't said this yet, but the whole like concept of the palette I love because I love wearing colours together. Like if I'm going to wear a colourful makeup look, I'm probably going to be wearing like green and purple or orange and blue. Like I'm going to be wearing colours together. So using just a row and using just like a one colour story has really like opened my eyes to the possibilities of this palette in the past like week as I've been filming all of these looks. I've really, really enjoyed it. This row I would definitely use in conjunction with all of the other colours in the palette because it is like neutral and I'm not massively a neutral makeup kind of gal. I do love colour, but I do appreciate the beauty in some beautiful neutral shades. So I'm just going to take a smaller fluffy brush and I'm going to dip very, very lightly into that dark brown matte. Just a little bit and deepen up right on the lid on the outer corner and then blend that in as well. Just like that. I don't want anything too dark, too smoky, too anything, but I'm just going to leave that at that for the mattes. I'm going to go in with the lighter shimmer, which is called Rune. That's what that one looks like. Very, very pretty. And I'm going to just tap that over the inner half-ish of the eyelid. That is so reflective. That is a very, very pretty shimmer shade. Very, very pretty indeed. There we go. So that's a few little layers to really like build up the foiled effect. And I'm just going to wiggle over with that brush one last time. But honestly, I think that I'm happy with how that looks. I am just going to put a little bit more of that dark brown on the outer corner. Obviously, I'm going to be adding a wing. Like, that goes without saying. Obviously, I am. But I do like something quite dark on the outer corner. It's just who I am. Let me live. There we go. Just like that. So I'm going to go ahead, clean this up, add a wing, do the rest of my face, and then I am going to want something nice and smoky under the eye as well. If I'm not doing colour, I'm doing smoky. Don't judge me. Okay, don't judge me. So I'll be right back when everything else is done. Okay, so I might want a little bit more blush at the end, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. I am going to... Where is the brush? This one that I've literally just been using. And I'm going to go back in with the middle one. Back in with the middle shade, just right on the tip of that brush, and run that right the way along the lower lash line. Like I say, something nice and smoky. If I'm not doing something colourful, I want this. I did do a brown liner and brown mascara, which I don't often do, but I do really like these ones that I used. It's the MUA, I just had them, the MUA Control Freak liner in brown, and the Primark mascara, which again, I just had. I don't know how I lose these things, but I do. This one, Extreme Lash Mascara in brown. I love that one. So, that is the liner and mascara that I used, if you were wondering, because I just thought a brown might look quite nice with the brown tones on the eyes. So, that is sufficiently smoky under the eyes. I'm just going to take a really small brush, preferably a clean one, but I don't think I have one, so this one will do. And I'm just going to go into that Rune shade. Is that going to be... I might have to put a bit of highlight over the top, but that looks okay. See, this is one of the problems that I'm coming into with just using each row. I would like something brighter than that for my inner corner, but it's fine. When I actually leave the house, I will probably do that, but for the sake of, you know, just doing each row, I will leave that as it is. It's fine. It's just a little bit darker than what I would usually like to do. I will probably put the highlight that I used on my face on the inner corner as well, just to tie it all in. So one last little blend with a fluffy brush that isn't dirty. All of my brushes need washing. Just one last little tickle over everything with a semi-clean brush. Not completely, just semi-clean. And then mascara on the lower lashes. And I'm done. I'm done. I needed to leave like 10 minutes ago, so I need to hurry up. So there we go. I was hoping to have enough time to put some more curls through my hair, but that is not going to happen, so we're just going to have to go as is. But very happy with how the eyeshadow turned out. It is ever so slightly colourful. Like, the way that the shades are blended out do lean a little bit purple, which I love. So it is a little bit colourful, but like it's still very much a neutral eye look. I don't feel like it's anything crazy. I feel like a lot of people could wear this and just feel themselves, you know, it's not an overpowering look. These are colours that I will wear. The greys, not so much. I feel like I'm going to struggle a little bit with the greys, but for look number 5, 5 out of 6, we are getting there, and I will see you in a couple of seconds for the final look. Okay, so look number 6, the final look with the Divination palette, and we are on to the grey row. The least inspiring row for me. I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'm just not a grey, cool toned kind of gal. The way that I would usually use these shades is with one of the brighter, like, colourful shades. It's like a pop of something, but obviously that's not the point of this whole video. So I think I'm going to just stick to the lighter shimmer because the darker shimmer is very dark. And it's just not necessarily my vibe. So I'm going to start with the middle shade, which is called Mirrors. I already have my eyeshadow primer on. This is the Beauty Bay one, in case you were wondering. And I'm just taking a fluffy brush into that middle shade, like I say, Mirrors, and I'm going to wiggle this through the crease. I think I'm just going to do like what I would consider quite a standard grey, black, smoky eye, because like I say, this just isn't the sort of row that sparks joy in me. I'm sure by the end it'll look lovely because these shades are like they're lovely shades, but just not a cool tone kind of girl. So I'm just gonna do something. Just gonna figure it out as we go along, as always. So then I'm just gonna use the same brush and dip into the lighter shimmer, which is called Smoke, and I'm gonna put that a little bit further in. And also use this to like blend out the top edge of that a little bit. I actually think what I might do, just to try and make this feel a little bit more me, I might do like quite a colourful wing, like a liquid liner wing or something like that. Like I say, just to add a bit of colour in, because that's what I like. So that's the Smoke shade, like on the inner half of the crease, and also using that to like blend out over the top edge. I want this brush, a much smaller brush, more tapered, and I'm going to just take some more of that Mirrors and keep that a little bit further into the crease. I don't want to blend this out too far. I want to like deepen up right in there on the outer half-ish. So I'm like starting to create that little wing shape on the outer corner with that mid grey, and then I'm just going to use the very end of this brush, tiniest little bit into Meg, which is the black, which is a true black. Like, it is very intense. I want the tiniest bit because I don't want this to take over. I just want to deepen it up a tiny bit. I'm just tickling that over the outer corner, and then I'm going back in with that first brush to soften it down a little bit. Yeah, that black is beautiful. Like, if you like cool tones and if you want the blackest black, this is the blackest black I've ever tried. Just like, no notes. It is incredible, but I just don't love a black. Don't love a grey, don't love a black. I'm gonna stop saying it, but it is an incredible black, if that's what you're looking for. So I am very happy with how that's looking and how that's blending. So obviously this is just the matte shades, but you can see how intense that black is on the outer corner, and I used the tiniest amount. So all of this across the lid is still very much bare, and I'm just going to use that crystal shade, which is so pretty, and I'm going to tap this all over the lid. Basically, if in doubt, cover it in glitter. That's my motto. So I'm just packing this on and like using the side of my finger to sort of disperse it through the crease and through like the other matte shades that we've got on. But that is so soft. And honestly, this shade just goes with all of the other shades in the palette. Like it is more of like that topper shade where it is adaptive. It will go with all of the other shades because it's sheer on its base, which I love. I really like this shade, but it's adding a really beautiful level of obviously glitter, but a really nice level of like brightness, like right across the lid. So I'll just go in with that first fluffy brush, but actually I feel like that is quite nicely blended all by itself. A little bit more on this side, and then I think I'm probably done. I'm gonna do a smoky under eye. Just let me have it, okay? I've done 6 looks just on this palette. Let me have a smoky under eye, please. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more of the mid shade, which was called Mirrors, just to make sure that even with that nice bright shimmer over the top, that this is still nice and dark and smoky. And I think just adding that Mirrors shade over the top rather than the black is making that gradient really like pop. I think, what do I want to say? I feel like whenever I wear a grey smoky eye, I look like I've got my S together, and I don't. But I feel like, I don't know, it's more mature, which obviously could never be me. So I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna sharpen this up. I'm going to put my wedding ring on. Still very much a married woman. Put that on. I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna decide what coloured wing I want to do. I feel like something quite fun. As I was literally just saying that this was like a mature, grown-up look. Hot pink wing? Potentially. Let's just see where the day takes me. I will be right back. Okay, so I decided to go for, I couldn't decide, so I went for 2 shades of eyeliner. I went for a lemon neon yellow on the inner part going into a green, like a lime green. Why not? Why not, I say. I mean, I feel like it looks a little bit strange, but I am going to like smoke out the lower lash line, and I feel like that will like balance it out quite nicely. So going back in with the same little brush that I was adding the darker shades with, I'm just going to go in with Mirrors at first, that mid grey, and run that along the lower lash line. But what I want to do is sort of tap this over this lower edge of the wing so that that wing isn't just like floating out into space, so that it's got some of that grey around it. Have I mentioned before that I never have any idea what I'm doing and I'm just making this all up as I go along? I hope I have, but that's what I'm doing. Very, very gently and carefully going around that wing. Yeah, so I feel like that looks better with that darker than this without. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm very happy with just that Mirrors shade under the eye. I feel like that's dark enough for what I want. So I'm just going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to just dip into that crystal shade a little bit and pack a bit of that right onto that inner corner, right in there. See, like I was saying earlier, if I wasn't just doing this row by row sort of challenge, I would probably go in with a yellow or a green shimmer right on that inner corner to like match the wing. But this will be absolutely fine just with the same shimmer that we've got on the lid. And it is very, very pretty as an inner corner. It's very, very reflective. Like so. And then, ooh, just a bit of mascara on the lower lashes. And we're done. This has been such a task, honestly. Filming 6 videos with one palette is a lot of work. It's taken me, how long has it taken me? Like 10 days? It's been a week since, it's been 7 days since that last clip. Because I filmed that on Sunday and today is the next Saturday. So, it's taken me a long time, but we're gonna get there eventually. And that is the finished look. I definitely feel like you could have done this with even more like a gunmetal sort of grey liner, like a dark grey liner would have looked really, really nice with this like smoky look. But I just feel like the addition of that neon green, I love it. I love it. It's not my favourite. It's not my favourite, but I love that addition of that bit of colour. Very, very nice. So I would absolutely love to know which out of these 6 has been your favourite. I think I was actually editing all of the other clips last night, and out of all of them, I actually think the purple one was my favourite. I love that like pastel-y wash of something. That's definitely one that I would wear again. I love the blue. I would absolutely wear that one again. I do wish, however, that I'd like smoked out the darker colours a little bit higher, made it a little bit more dark, because that shimmer, that blue shimmer is my favourite shade in this whole palette. Oracle, that is my favourite shade. It's just beautiful. But I do feel like it has, like this whole process of doing 6 videos just in, or like 6 looks just in one palette, I do feel like that has opened my eyes to the possibilities that I can do with this colour story. I do feel like, obviously I've made looks that I wouldn't have ever done this if I wasn't just focusing on one row at a time. And like I said, the way that I would normally use this palette is using this and then doing like a bright green pop on the inner corner, or like I in my everyday life I would use this in a slightly different way. But I do feel like putting all of the shades together in a different way than what you would usually do is always going to be sort of like a very fun, creative outlet. I've had a lot of fun doing this, but like I say, it's just been a lot of filming and I don't have a lot of spare time. So I would love to hear what your favourite has been down below. I would love to hear if you create any looks like this, like row by row in the Divination palette or any other palette. This could be fun with so many different palettes. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.